Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because in this video, we're talking about some interior design styles that are done, that are finished, that are over, that are never coming back, and what you can do instead of these. Now, the first style that unfortunately is finished and not coming back, people try to make happen and honey, it's just not gonna happen, is Victorian. Now the reason this is on the list is because Victorian is very, very important to the business, the industry, and everything behind interior design. It's accredited as one of the styles that really started the business or the industry, and it wasn't because Victorian was so great and amazing that people wanted it and so they hired people to make it happen. It's because a lot of people didn't like it because it's very heavy and very dark. And so getting away from that is sort of what started what is now interior design. With all of that said, why is Victorian never coming back? It is heavy and it is dark. And at a certain point, a style or pieces of furniture become functionally obsolete, as in it just no longer serves our lifestyle of living today. Okay, it's just not feasible, not doable, because like even in Victorian times, people were so much smaller than they are now. So a lot of Victorian furniture is so little and it's like micro furniture to us today. We're like, it's so tiny. Now here's the important takeaway though. Every aspect of this style is not done, is not over, is not out. I love Victorian homes. I love individual Victorian pieces of furniture. So having that kind of take on a space or bringing a little bit of that in, love. I adore that. The idea of Victorian though is that everything cannot be that style. So if you're living in a Victorian home, you can paint your walls, you can do whatever, you can have it be this interesting space that's sort of very curated, and then maybe you use furniture that is more accommodating to modern day standards, right? Like larger, more oversized. That way it doesn't feel like we're living in the past or it's a theme or it's a time capsule. It feels like it's intentional and we're taking the best aspects of that style and incorporating them into your modern life. That's what's really important when it comes to any style you're looking at. Even like mid-century, for example. If every single thing is authentic mid-century and it's all pieced together and it's all done perfectly, it is going to look like a time capsule. So take some inspiration from it and apply it to your space. With Victorian, I would say some of the details on furniture pieces, like the wood edging you have on a sofa, those are really great. And I love to see that, but getting a modern day version of it that's a little more oversized could be more comfortable for you. And then saying what we're gonna take away from Victorian is maybe some of the darker colors and tones, and then a lot of the patterns too, like that's very heavy patterns with Victorian style. So updating it to something that's a little fresher and brighter, maybe even just painting the walls a brighter, lighter tone is a really great way to modernize that style without just saying, get rid of it, it's done, it's completely over. No style is bad. They are just not done well. So none of them are completely dated or out. Certain aspects of it are always going to be timeless and classic. The next style that is done, it's over, it's out, it is never coming back is glam. Glam is a mess, a total mess because it's too much. If you have too much of a good thing, it is not good. It's just too much. Glam style really came from this sort of like romanticized version of traditional that's bright and modern and a little more feminine leaning, which is great, and we love all of those things, but it took it to an extent that was just beyond, too far. And that's where things go wrong. When we start trying to make something into something else or try to like bring it from the past into the future and reimagine it and do all of these things, that's where we can really go wrong. And that's what happened with glam style, because it was this sort of like interpretation of what luxury could be, but not what actually feels luxurious. And that's it. It just went downhill. It just went so far downhill so quickly that we ended up in this trendy thing where everything is like, it's crystal and it's sparkly and it's white velvet or white like vinyl that looks like leather. I'll let you unpack that at your own pace. This is really where the gray trend started, was in glam style, because it's like, oh, you know, this pewtery, silvery gold tone, and now we're gonna lean into more gray with it because that feels more modern. It's just different than what we're doing. And a lot of times that's what people interpret as being modern, is just something different than what it was before. And that's not necessarily true. Now, if you like the glam style, that's okay. I love the decadence of it. I love the concept of it. It's the execution that usually is not great for me. So find a way to pare that back a little bit and say, okay, what's a more refined version of this? And this, I think, is a really important takeaway, is that you have to have good inspirational references to make this happen. As an interior designer, like, I see a lot of stuff, I study a lot of different styles, and I have a lot of exposure. So I don't necessarily need the same level of inspiration that maybe the home decorator or the novice needs. So you're gonna need to find a really good piece of inspiration, a couple of them, create sort of a file on your computer, go on a Pinterest board or something, and find a bunch of things that look exactly like what you want, incorporate natural elements into it, and don't choose only cool tones, and you can make something that feels glamorous, intentional, and beautiful, and luxurious, instead of something that feels like a kitschy theme that just looks dated at this point. Instead of going for that like glam style, I would say, look at Hollywood Regency. That's a really elevated style that has historic roots, but could be reimagined into a modern space that would feel a lot more luxurious and intentional, but keeps those core elements of the glam style. Now, deciding what you're gonna do in your home is always difficult, and sometimes you get stuck, or you don't maybe have the eye to place all of these things. You have that one difficult question you just can't answer, and you need a little design help. I have got you covered. I'm here for you. You could always book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me, where you can show me around your home, and I can answer all of those difficult questions you may have. You can book that call with me using the link in the description box down below, or by going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Glam style reminds me of something that is also dated and out and never coming back, and that is Kitschy farmhouse. Now, Kitschy farmhouse is admittedly been out for a little while, and we know this, but I bring it up because there's a really important aspect of this to remember. And that is, you cannot take something authentic and make a caricature of it and then believe that is who you are or your style. You are not just a fun, frilly, make-believe version of something, right? So with farmhouse, or the Kitschy farmhouse, I should say, it started with it being like, oh, we love the idea of this soft lifestyle where, you know, everything is very cushy and very plush, and we want things that are durable. And so, like, you know, if you live on a farm, you know that your space has to be very hard wearing. That's just life. That just is what it is. And so we take the idea of, oh, this needs to be livable and hard worn and, you know, like able to withstand everything we throw at it. And then we are like, we're going to do that in the house. Well, just because something looks the same way doesn't mean it actually functions that way. And that's what happened with Kitschy farmhouse. Like I said, that's a caricature of it. It's just not real. So it started with this, and it's like, okay, we're gonna take inspiration from the core aspects of this and bring them into this. And so they did it. And then it's like, we need the fluffy pillows, and then we need, oh, the cushy rug and all of this stuff. And now we're gonna take it to the place where, you know, it's not giving farm enough. So instead now it's gonna give barn, and we're gonna do agricultural things. And it's like, you know, those coffee tables with the wheels and the big, you know, galvanized brackets on them, and oh, we're gonna take a bucket and turn it into a light fixture. Like, I love the creativity for you, but it's a pass for me. You don't want to make a joke of something and then have that be your style or what you're doing in your house. You need to look for what is the authentic take on that, and then go for that authentic take, or take inspiration from there, but don't overdo it in some way that just feels like, it's honestly, like, if you live on a farm, you know what I mean. It's kind of rude. It's kind of like you're pretending you want to be me, like you want to be me so bad, like, but you're making a joke of it. Like, okay, like, do you, I guess. That is the vibe it's giving. Kitschy farmhouse, done. It's out. It's over. Honestly, it's kind of offensive to my design sensibilities. So let's get it together. The next style that is done, it's over, it's out. We're not doing anymore because it's just a little overplayed and not always done well, is actually boho. Now I love boho, and I think the texture it has is interesting. The layering is great, but we got to a point where it's just overly mass marketed, and the pieces you're finding that are in that boho style are no longer serving the real intention that they were meant to. The boho style started with inspiration that is very handmade and crafted and sourced, found items and objects, and that's really cool, and that has some great intention to it. And a lot of boho also incorporates vintage style pieces, so you might find something that is a little bit more of like a campaign style or even Victorian. There's also cues of mid-century in boho style, which I love. But it's all about like individual personal things that are, like I said, very curated. And we've gotten to the point where it's like, throw some raffia in it and get one of those little like, you know, knotted macrame things and hang them on the wall. And so we're to the point where it's just so overly done and mass produced and mass marketed that it no longer feels authentic or is that thing. Now, if boho is your style, love it. I think it's great. Look for material. Nothing in authentic boho would ever be polyester. It just wouldn't. You're gonna be finding wool and cotton and mohair and those real authentic organic fabrics and materials and fibers. That's my issue, is the quality, because it's not about you have to spend a lot of money or you have to get something that is the perfect, most luxurious thing. Literally could not be further from the truth, okay? Like, I'll be honest with you. Okay, not everything has to be expensive, but everything should be the best quality it can be. And a lot of authentic boho style and design is going to use pieces that are not brand new, that are not purchased at a store, that are upcycled and recycled, reupholstered and redone and crafted. But that's not what we're getting with a lot of the trendier takes on this. So it's just like, it just doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel right. You see it and you're like, I mean, I know it's trying to be boho, but is it? Now, I love personal style and personality, and you will know this about me if you've been here for a while, but if you're new here, I want your home to be the truest reflection of yourself. So if you're looking for some design advice, you have found the place to go. Be sure you take a moment, hit the subscribe button, join us, become a part of our LeChic community and family, and join us. You can also pull out your smartphone and scan this QR code right here that will take you directly to my channel page and make it much easier. You should also put your bell notification on to get notified every time I upload. And I'd also greatly appreciate if everyone watching could give this video a like and give it a little bit of hype to get it shared across the platform. The next style we have to talk about that I'm sick of seeing, it's happening right now as we speak. Somebody is doing this. The jail sentence will be coming, honey. But we'll get there, all right? Because illegal, immediately no. And the style we have to talk about is new mod. Now, I love mod. I think it's great, it's interesting. We're talking about like 1960s mod, very cool, okay? New mod takes some inspiration from that, but it's not always done that well. Now, the inspiration it's taking usually is in the form of color and maybe some inspiration as far as patterns go, and that's sort of where it stops. It's basically just like these vibrant poppy colors in an interesting pattern, or, you know, like in a very geometric sort of graphic pattern. And in theory, that could be good, but the problem is if you're not pairing it with more of that, you don't get enough of the like contrast and the pattern clash and just the like energy that 60s mod has. So now we're like new mod, and it's basically just these really vibrant, colorful prints paired with contemporary furnishings that are usually in like a neutral color. And the problem is that when you look at this, you see the inspiration, but it looks more like a dorm room. It looks like, you know, you bought the drapes at the store from the dorm room section, you know, like it pops up every year during like the end of summer, and it's like, oh, get ready for back to school and all of this stuff. Yeah, no, that's what it looks like to me. That's what it's giving. It looks inexpensive. It looks cheap. It does not look intentional. It looks like, well, you know what? We need to put a little character in it. It needs to have a little color. And that's giving, that's what this is. Somebody said that to themselves, and they went to the store, they bought this stuff that was for a dorm room, and they put it in their house, and that, new mod, oh, it's so cool. It's not enough. It's not enough though. You need to have two colors, and you need to have something retro in the space. Like any of these living rooms could pull this off if it had a retro style, like, you know, fireplace, not necessarily have a real fireplace installed. They make them that are just like space heaters, okay? Like just for the look, for the aesthetic, put it there, great. Get an egg chair. that's cool. Get something cool that's just like very mod vibes to pull all of this together. Taking inspiration and just doing a little bit of it is not enough to sell the fantasy. I need to believe it. And right now, I believe it's a mess. That's what I believe. It needs to be better, but you can't take it over the top either. You can't do too much of it. So you can pair some of these bright, vibrant colors with contemporary style pieces and neutralized colors, but we need to have at least 2 of these bold, vibrant accent colors in a space. And when you do that, it feels cool. It feels big. It is a very large commitment to do, and maybe it's not for everybody, and I respect that, but I'm gonna need a little more energy than what you're giving me with this new mod, because it feels like you pulled it straight out of your dorm room into your first apartment, and it's not giving what you think it is. Now, new mod kind of looks a mess, and I think you need to do better with it. Something else you need to do better with is avoiding these 6 things that are secretly making your home look cheap, or maybe not so secretly, but you can check that out right over here, and I will see you over there.